I thought after doing the live stream when the Vikings made that trade with the Houston Texans for pick 23, I thought doing the live stream after that we as a community, myself and everyone that participated in that chat, I thought we covered all possible scenarios until I realized that we didn't. Talked about trade up, top 3, top 5, and obviously that's the best case scenario for the Vikings, but at the same time it takes 2 to tango. What if the Patriots decide at pick 3 we're going to take a quarterback? What if you get outbid for pick 4 or pick 5 to go after JJ McCarthy? Then what happens? You can stand pat, or you could trade down. And really, this is for the Michael Penix Jr. folks out there, where if you want that to be your consolation prize, okay, fine. I think he's a second round pick, but you don't have a second round pick anymore. This is, I believe, the worst case scenario to where the Vikings, this is the draft of hashtag options for a reason. I feel like the Vikings can't lose. You have to really go out of your way to screw this up. But if you're unable to trade up for a quarterback, I think that if you still want to go after Michael Penix Jr., that you, the Vikings, could trade down far enough to where, not too far to where you're out of the first round, but far enough to where you still have 2 first round picks from pick 11, get a second round pick. And I wanted to use a reference point. I think early on when I started this channel, when I would come up with trade suggestions, it was just how I felt at the moment. Oh, I feel like you could get a first round pick for this or a second round pick for that, just off of vibes. But you got to use reference points. So Danielle Hunter, you can get a first round pick for him and then some because of Bradley Chubb. Trading up from 11 to pick 3, well, look at the trade between the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins that resulted in Trey Lance going to San Francisco. Ironically enough, the closest or the most recent reference point that we have as far as trading down from the range of 10, 11, 12 is Kwesi Adofo-Mensah in 2022, in which case, no, don't do that. Forget the pick. Forget the player that you selected, which is a bust. You didn't get fair compensation in exchange going from 12 to 32, which Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, I'm going to assume that you learned your lesson from that trade. The next most recent reference point of this scenario is 2019. The Denver Broncos traded pick 10 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and in return got back picks 20, 52. So they got a second round pick and a future third round pick. So we're going to use that. Now, Pittsburgh, they used pick 10 on Devin Bush, the linebacker out of Michigan. And we're not even going to account for inflation to say, well, you know what, that future third round pick, let's accelerate it to your third round pick right now. I want to do a mock draft based off of this scenario. And before I get to that, Tristan D, appreciate you. Effort, give the Pats 3 first and a 2026 second round pick for pick 3. I want May by any means necessary. But for this exercise, we're talking about if you're unable to do that. It's if the Patriots are unwilling and they want to go Drake May, or let's say Commanders, they go Drake May, and Patriots, they want to go Jaden Daniels. This is just in case you don't have a receptive trade partner. Ironically enough, talked about Broncos Steelers in 2019. Tried to look for in that same ballpark as far as picks are concerned. That is, again, this year, 2024, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I want to share my screen for this. How do I do this again? Oh, technology. Wait. Okay, here it is. Give me 1 second. Okay. Is this on the screen now? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So for this, we're going to do a mock draft. And I think we're gonna do at least two of these. The first one, I'm going to give in to the Michael Penix Jr. crowd in the first round. And then I want to see if he's going to be available in the second round later on. So we're going to do, let's see, Vikings, yada, yada. And that way you can still get two immediate impact players on the defensive side of the ball without sacrificing. Because right now, if you just stand pat and go 11 and 23 and say you take Penix at 23, then at 11, you go, say, Byron Murphy or Jarrett Verse or Dallas Turner, and then you don't pick again until the fourth round. This at least gives you another opportunity to not necessarily waste a chance to get another impact player high in the, well, not in the first round, in this case, the second round. But coincidentally, again, this involves Pittsburgh. So let's do 11 for 20 and 51. And for S&Gs, we get a future third round pick. But for the sake of this exercise, it doesn't matter. So now, instead of 11 and 23, the Vikings, they've got 20, 23, and then 51. And then a future third. Quasi's still cooking in this case. Start this draft. Okay. So, all right, man. Come on, we got to be realistic here. Drake May is there at 20. We know that's not going to happen. We could just sit here and go nuts and say Drake May, we took him at pick 20, but let's be realistic here. He's going to be gone. He's going to be a top 3 pick, which means my guy Byron Murphy is there. So we're going to take him at 20. And then, I mean, obviously, my God, I would accept that. Are you kidding me, to go down 2 spots? But we're just going to stick with chalk at this point. At 23, we'll go. Is he gone? Oh, don't tell me. Oh, no, he's right there. How is Bo Nix ranked ahead of Michael Penix Jr.? What is happening? Yo, whoever. If anybody takes Bo Nix in the first or second round, that GM needs to be fired on the spot. Ahead of Michael Penix. Anyway, back to the point. Michael Penix goes at 23. But then you have a pick in the second round at pick 51, which I'm going to go D-line here. I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We need some dogs up front. As much as when I did the mock draft after the Vikings got pick 23 from Houston, the stand pat scenario mock draft at 11 and 23, just assuming that JJ McCarthy was gone. I'm pretty sure I went Byron Murphy and then again at 23 with Johnny Newton. But I tell you what, man, Byron Murphy and Chris Jenkins, I'll take that. You still get 2 day 1 starters on the interior defensive line. And you've got a complete defense. Because right now, as it stands, yeah, you added a couple of edge rushers. You replaced Jordan Hicks with Cashman, but you have no beef up front. And in a 3-4 defense, you need dogs on the interior defensive line. Pick 108. Ooh. You can add an edge rusher. Adisa, Isaac. Or, yeah, we'll take the edge rusher. And then, actually, I'm going to check on later on. I'm going to check to see if Jordan Travis is still available, due to a lesser degree, apples to oranges, but a poor man's version of RG3 and Kirk Cousins in the same draft. Again, hashtag options. So at 129, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Jarvis Brownlee. Take a corner here. And we'll do another one to see if Michael Penix makes it to pick 51. I have no idea. I mean, he should. I don't think he's a first round pick, but I'm okay with that. Oh, boy. Well, let's see who else is available. I think I'm going to take Gabriel Murphy. Yeah. Although you can add to the offensive line right now with Javion Cohen. Yeah, I'm going to do that. We're rejecting all trades at this trade offers anyway. We just wanted to do chalk after trading down from pick 11. At 167, I mean, is he available? Is he still there? Yup. Jordan Travis. Hashtag options. 177. I feel like I always end up drafting Jaheim Bell. Need a tight end. A reliable one for as long as TJ Hawkinson is going to be out. Josh Oliver, I mean, he was the splash signing last year, but do you really trust him as a tight end one to make big plays consistently? And then, yeah, for S&Gs, Trevor Keegan from Michigan. We got one more pick. And this doesn't. Well, actually, let's see if Taylor's there. Yep. The Tory Taylor agenda lives on. So I think the Vikings, as long as you don't screw this up, which, again, I'm going to be positive this offseason. I'm going to give the Vikings the benefit of the doubt that they are just going, everything that happened in 2022 is not going to happen again. Give you the benefit of the doubt until you don't deserve it anymore. Byron Murphy at 20, Penix Jr. at 23, Chris Jenkins at 51. You still have two starting interior D linemen to pair with Harrison Phillips, Adisa Isaac, edge rusher, to add to the pool of outside linebackers you're going to have in Brian Flores' defense. You got a corner, Jarvis Brownlee. And at this point, it's can they make the team? Will they need a year or so to develop? But Jarvis Brownlee Jr., cornerback out of Louisville, adds to the offensive line. Javion Cohen, Jordan Travis gives you an option for next year, 2025. If Penix Jr. doesn't work out, Jaheim Bell, Trevor Keegan, and Tory Taylor. Your thoughts? And this is a worst case scenario that the Vikings can still come out as winners. You have to really, really go out of your way to screw this up. Trade up. And honestly, if you can't trade up, I'd rather trade down than stand pat. Take a defensive player at 11 and then Penix Jr. at 23 and then still don't pick again until the 4th round. Nope. What are your thoughts on the actual? Let's go back to the top of that so you guys can see that. I mean, criticize it if you want. Chris says, yo, what do you think about Vikings signing Dalvin Cook? If injury happens, would be crazy. Nah, we're good. We are super good. We've got Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler. Maybe draft another guy. Kane Nwangwu. We're good. Randy Lewis says Penix is gone by 13. He's a Raider. Yo, what is happening? What is happening to these quarterbacks in this draft class? First, JJ McCarthy is a top 5 pick now, and Penix is gone by 13. Just a run on QBs. So what? Are we talking Spencer Rattler in the 4th? Or is that too low of a projection for him? Is he a 2nd round pick now, Spencer Rattler? What is happening to these quarterbacks? Wow. Is that what the word on the street is? Stu says Spencer late 2nd. All right. Ah! Spencer Rattler. And Bo Nix can go in the 1st round too. Okay. That's crazy. All right. Let's try another mock draft. Let's see if we can get Penix in the 2nd round. Because we're exploring this whole thing. Worst case scenario, even though the Vikings can still win. Again, trading down from 11, and specifically because of recent history, 2019, down to pick 20 with the Pittsburgh Steelers and obtaining pick 51. So we're going to take a shot here. I'm not taking Spencer Rattler in the 2nd round. Like I'm not doing it. And you get a future 3rd for everyone wondering because of that Broncos Steelers trade in 2019. But for the sake of this exercise, it doesn't matter. Okay. 20, 51, Steelers get 11. Bam. We're going to see Penix makes it. In which case, D tackle is definitely going to get addressed. But do you go D tackle twice or D tackle edge rusher? Let's switch it up here. Everyone knows that I've been very vocal about going 2 defensive tackles if possible, but let's switch it up here. Dallas Turner. Yeah. Okay. We're going to reject all trade offers made. Dallas Turner and Byron Murphy. Sign me up. Now at 51, will Penix be gone? He's there. Wait. No, he's there. Forget you, Bo Nix. Where's Spencer Rattler? Where is he? Yeah, 92. A 2nd round pick. So instead of Chris Jenkins, you get Byron Murphy. Well, you still get Byron Murphy in both mock drafts, but you get Dallas Turner. Could have went Byron Murphy, Johnny Newton, but I wanted to switch it up positionally here. Next pick, 108, and you still get Penix Jr. I mean, we're going to switch it up. We did Adisa Isaac last mock. We'll go Brandon Dorless here, edge rusher out of Oregon. Still getting a quarterback. $129. Ooh, okay. I'll do Mekhi Wingo at 129. He could be a factor. At 157, let's go. I like Charles Smith Wade. We'll go corner out of Washington State. At 167, Muhammad Kamara, go edge again. Can't have too many edge rushers. Fresh legs. Bodies on bodies. Outside linebacker, you got it. At 177. Go offensive line here. Wait, what happened? Isaiah Adams. You got 2 more picks. And actually, I may have screwed this up. Yep, I missed out on Jordan Travis. Lost track of that. Oh, I'm not taking any of these dudes. Where did Jordan Travis go? How far did I miss out on him? I don't see him. It doesn't matter at this point. I screwed up. I should have. Want options here, damn it. Hey, I'll tell you what. I don't know. Who was it that suggested Dalvin Cook? Don't remember who that was. But if you want to add a running back, I'll take Isaiah Davis. And then one more. Torrey Taylor, are you there? Yup. Bam. Okay. So this second mock draft on this live stream is under the assumption that you can get Penix in the second round. The first one, we took him at 20. At 23. And this time we're like, all right, let's take a shot here. Let's gamble. Put all our chips on black at the roulette table. And it worked out at 51. Your thoughts on this one? Scoldger Soup says, trade down for what? Mr. No Paddles, it's top 3, or you're picking Penix / Bo Nix. Well, not necessarily. I think if you can get in, I wouldn't even say top 5. I'll say top 4. That at least puts you in the hunt for JJ McCarthy, which I really can't believe that it's come to this, that you have to get a top 4 pick to get McCarthy. Whereas season ended, okay, he's a second round pick. Okay, cool. Now it's oh my God, all the stuff we didn't see. He's a top 5 pick. He's going to explode, and he might. But it's crazy. After football is done, we look for ways to just beat down on players or rise them up. Randy Lewis says, yeah, if they don't get a top quarterback this draft, they might as well wait for Archie Manning or Arch Manning. He's not even going to play next year for Texas, right? Isn't Quinn Ewers is going back. So that means he's going to, by the time Manning plays, it's going to be, what, 2025? Yeah, he's not even playing next year. Tell you what, man, if you want to go quarterback again in 25, Shadur Sanders. Stu Rat says everyone's desperate. Actually, let me take this screen off. There we go. Everyone's desperate for a cheap quarterback. Well, yeah, bridge quarterback. Make it happen. So that mock draft, I mean, actually, I'm stupid. Let me bring this back on the screen. How do y'all feel about this, man? Take a gamble. Michael Penix Jr., he's available there in the second round. You take him at 51. You still get, I mean, I would say you get 3 starters on the defensive side of the ball out of this. Brandon Dorlus, I'm not sure, but I think Mekhi Wingo could be a starter or battle it out with Ja'Kalen Roy. But you definitely get Dallas Turner But then what do you do with Andrew Van Ginkel? I guess he comes up. You have nonstop fresh legs rushing the passer. And then Byron Murphy, who's probably the best interior defensive lineman in this draft. I'm trying to think, if Penix is not there, if Penix is not available in the second round, sticking with that philosophy, I mean, then what do you do? Woo! Bo Nix, I would not select him at all. But let me switch the name up. Spencer Rattler, who I also don't like. If you can get him in the fourth, so be it. But I would also remember to take Jordan Travis in that scenario with the expectation that in next year's draft, you're going to have to go quarterback again. But obviously, the best case scenario here is to trade up for a top 3 pick, or worst case, a top 4 pick to get your quarterback of the future. But the team that you're calling, checking on to try to make a trade, they have to be receptive. It's not just, hey, we have the draft picks and you need to take it. They have to say, all right, no, this works out for us as well. And if they don't, then what do you do? I think the Vikings, they can win in this draft no matter what. Worst case, you just build up on this roster as much as you can. You take a flyer on a couple of late round quarterbacks, or even best case scenario, you can still get Michael Penix. But if you feel like he's not there, you make a trade like this and get 20, go from 11 to 20 and 51 from Pittsburgh. You feel like Penix won't be there in the second round, then take him at 23 and go Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. Carlos says, hey, what's really wrong with Rattler? I'm going to tell you what's wrong with Rattler, man. Spencer Rattler, I remember this. Let me just fact check this. I'm pretty sure he started out at Oklahoma. Hold up. Spencer Rattler stats. Pretty sure he started his college career at Oklahoma. Right? Yep. 2019. Bam. Okay. And then he had his first year as a starter in Oklahoma in 2020. I remember all the hype. I can't recall the exact game, but I think Kirk Herbstreit was on that game. And just the pregame hype of this guy, Spencer Rattler. Oh my God, the playmaking ability. He can go through his progressions. Big time playmaker. He's the next big thing. And he had a flat performance, but it basically fell apart. He had in that year, or maybe it was 2021. I think it was 21. Because that year he had 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I think that's the year. Because then after that, after all that hype, he then transferred to South Carolina. And then his stats there weren't great. And in 2022, first year at South Carolina, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Then last year, 19 TDs, 8 picks. I just remember the fall from grace that he had. I was like, oh, this dude really nice. All right, sweet. Oh, what? Yeah, that's what's happening here. The production doesn't match the hype. And now the hype is back, apparently. Yeah, I would not take him in the second round at all. I'll take him ahead of Bo Nix. Because Bo Nix, that guy he's not going to be a good football player at the next level. Charlie says, personally, get the screen off. Goodness gracious. Personally, I think if this scenario played out like you have done or like you have, it does make sense to stick and pick 3 blue chip player rookies. Yeah, 2 defensive players and 1 quarterback. Either get Penix in the first or take your chances and think that he'll be there in the second round, which I would go that route, door number 2. But either way, you still get 2 stud defensive players, particularly on the interior defensive line, 2 starters. Or if you really want to get spicy, as we did in this mock draft, Dallas Turner at edge and then Byron Murphy, and still get Mekhi Wingo. I think you really, really have to fall flat on your face for this to be a bad draft for the Minnesota Vikings. Like 2022 happened, and an analytical guy like Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, you look at the results. They are data driven. They're like robots. And I'm sure that he reviewed his performance and said, hey, this guy, Lewis Cine, I don't want to just pile on the guy as much as I already have and as much as everyone else already has. But I mean, this is the biggest bust that I've seen following this Vikings team since 2000. We're in 24 years. And I think a name that's come to me was I think hopefully I have this name right, Demetrius Underwood, but that was before I started following this team where they drafted him and he just didn't show up. It's like, nope, this is cool. I'm out. That's pretty bad. But I wasn't around for that. The biggest bust before Lewis Cine was Troy Williamson. But guess what? He was on the field. He put up stats. He scored touchdowns. He dropped the ball a ton, but he was on the field. Every bust that you can think of, besides Underwood, was on the field at some point in time. They got reps. And Lewis Cine, he's not even good enough to play. For Ed Donatel, before he got hurt, because he was a special teams player before he got hurt, or for Brian Flores. But I'm sure he has learned from that. Come on, man. I'm going to choose to believe that this is going to be a great draft for the Vikings no matter what. Randy Lewis says Ponder was a bigger bust. He threw touchdown passes. And the one time I said in my life, man, if only we had Christian Ponder, was that playoff game where Joe Webb had to start because Ponder was hurt. We could have beat the Packers in that game, man. We could have beat them if we had Ponder. But he was a contributor. Compared to Lewis Cine, you can't even get on the field, bro. You're healthy. You're fully healthy. You're a first-round pick. That trade they did in 22, where they didn't get an adequate return on investment, for you, can't play. Collecting dust. Scolger Soup says, Randy, when will news drop that we traded up to the 4th pick? Well, the 4th pick, if you trade up to pick 3, that can be at any moment. That's something you want to get done before draft night. Pick 4 or pick 5, worst case scenario, that's something you can do on draft night. Because trading up for pick 3, that guarantees that you're going to get your guy no matter what. Pick 4, that I would think that guarantees you JJ McCarthy. But let's say for argument's sake, a top 5 pick 5, 4 or 5, whatever. That's where you wait until draft night to see how the first 3 picks pan out. And then you make that offer. So trading up to pick 4, if you do it, it's going to be on draft night. But pick 3, that could happen today or at any moment before the draft. David Ditter, I want Harrison Jr. and McCarthy. Yeah, that's a guy can dream, But that's not going to happen. This is going to be a good draft. I really believe that. I'm trying to think of another scenario here, but I don't think there is one. I think we have officially covered all scenarios. Trading up, standing pat, trading down. Would there be a difference between trading down from 11 versus trading down from 23 to the end of the first round in terms of players that you're looking at? I don't think so. Because Byron Murphy's probably the best DT in this draft. And we've done 2 mock drafts trading down from 11 to 20, and he was there both times. I'm not interested in going corner at all. You need pressure up front. You don't have that right now. I mean, I guess we could try it, but I don't think it's going to really make a difference. You could still get Penix, I think, trading from 23 down to the end of the first. Tristan D says Vikings just finished their workout with JJ McCarthy. I can see Kwesi panic if they think JJ sucks and trade up with Pats with a Godfather offer like 3 firsts and a second, and pray May is at 3. Well, he's having his pro day today, right? Not the workout. Or did they already complete the workout? I know they have a private workout scheduled with McCarthy. I don't know if it happened or not, or if it's going to be a future event. But whoever your guy is, they're the ones that's attaching their names to this player. If it doesn't work out, everybody's going to get fired. And they know that. So I would think it's in their best interest that they don't reach for a guy for the sake of saying, well, at least we got a quarterback. They did their homework. Whoever they feel is their guy. If yes, on the surface, maybe it's given up too much. Where 11, 23, a future first and a future second, because you don't have one in 25 after the Houston trade. Yeah, they're not at his pro day. I did see that, which doesn't mean anything. Teams that show up to pro days or not, it's no. If they like JJ McCarthy, they like him. They've done their scouting. They either have done or will conduct the private workout with him. It's all for show anyway. Devin says if the quarterback Cam once falls off the board, we can draft the quarterback next year and know maybe Jaron Hall or Sam Darnold do better than expected, and then we won't even need to draft a quarterback. No, we'll definitely need to draft a quarterback in 2025. I mean, worst case. And if you think Penix can be serviceable, you can still take him, but no, there's no way that, I mean, Sam Darnold, he is who he is at this point. Maybe he has a year resurgence like Baker Mayfield just did for Tampa, but and Jaron Hall, I believed in him. I just think KOC gave up on him too early. What was that? I think that was the Lions game? Was that the Lions game Jaron Hall started legit? Let me fact check that. I think it was. And I mean, think about the long leash that he gave Josh Dobbs. I mean, my goodness, bro. Lost to Chicago after they won off of hitting nothing but field goals. They had to bring in Nick Mullins to barely beat the Vegas Raiders 3-0. I just felt like he yanked the leash off of Jaron Hall and just said, nope, we're good. A little bit too early. I think that was the Lions game. I don't remember if it was the first or the second. It was... No, it was the Green Bay game. Okay. It was in between the Lions games. This man had 10 attempts. 10 whole ass attempts. KOC said, nah, fam. We're not doing that. But yeah, they've made their choice. They've made their decision. They told you with their actions that Jaren Hall's not the guy. Mitty says, Randy, who do you think gets drafted at quarterback this year? Can we ship Jaden Daniels a bong with a gas mask? Look at that! He's going to be a detriment to any team. We should punish him. Have him fall to 11. I think realistically speaking, I think the Vikings are going to find a way to get JJ McCarthy. I think that's the most likely scenario to happen. With a close second being Drake May trading with the New England Patriots. Randy Lewis says McCarthy or May. Yeah. I mean, let's do one more. We'll do one more mock draft. In this situation, worst case, trade down from 11. Where are we? There we go. And assume that Penix is going to be there. And we'll switch it up. I won't take Byron. We'll do one more. $20.51, future third, 411. And start. Josh says trading down is the dumbest bleep we can do here. Want to be stuck not making the playoffs. It's if you want to make a trade, Josh, the other team has to be receptive. If the Patriots don't want to trade pick 3, what can you do but bitch and moan? And then if you want to get into the top 5, but let's say the Cardinals, they want to go Marvin Harrison Jr., and then the Chargers, they don't want to trade back. Or if they do, someone outbids you to where they give up. Somehow they give up more than what you're willing to where you're not stuck in no man's land. Like, it's not just the Vikings. They just snap their fingers and the other team, they're going to make this trade happen. No, it takes 2 to tango, man. You got to explore all options here. Drake May is not going to be there at pick 20. I don't like this is, man, I swear I might need to use another mock draft system because this is just dumb. Drake May was there. I think JJ McCarthy was there at pick 20 the last draft we did. But to keep it realistic, top edge rushers are gone. You got Chop there. I'm going to go Johnny. Here's Johnny. And at 23, we're gonna assume Penix is going to be there at 51. I guess. Let's switch it up here. Michael Penix, he has an injury history, and we want to make sure that we can protect him. So instead of going the obvious route of Chop, let's get a center. Jackson Powers Johnson. Now, the moment of truth. Is Penix there at 51? Oh, my God. He's gone. All right. Well, I'm not going to reach for Spencer Rattler at 51. No, thank you. Not I, said the cat. All right. Best player available. Take Jordan Travis late. This time I will remember that. Chris Jenkins or Chris Braswell? I'm going to go Chris Jenkins. 2 starters on the interior defensive line. Penix has got. Actually, I'm going to find out who drafted Penix. Actually, we're too far. We're in too deep here at this point. Who? Penix went before 51. Took Johnny Newton at 20. But then where did the Eagles took Drake May? I might need to use another mock draft system here because this is dumb. They have Jalen Hurts. Why are they taking Drake May? Penix went to Washington, to the Commanders, after they just drafted Dallas Turner. I completely screwed that up. My bad. I can't believe I did that. I backspaced too much. they took Dallas Turner at pick 2. And I went come on, bro. Let's do this one more time. I sped back too quickly and took us out of it. Let's do this again. That never happened. Taking a chance. One more time. And we'll get out of here. Actually, we'll check news to see if anything Vikings related has broken recently. And then we'll get out of here. All right. At pick 20. We'll go. We went Dallas Turner the draft before last, right? Yeah. We'll go Jarrett first this time. Don't want to use the same names. And then at 23, we'll go back to Jackson Powers Johnson. Center for your new guy. Under center. All right. Is Penix there? Oh, my God. I'm not taking Bo Nix. I'm not taking Spencer Rattler. Okay. So this is similar to the mock draft I tried to just do before my fingers just went too far back. That Michael Penix is not there at 51. So it appears, at least more often than not, that if you want Penix as a last resort, you're going to have to take him in the first round. Ideally at pick 23. Okay, fine. Pick 51. Got edge. We got center. Let's go DT, Chris Jenkins. He's been the constant. And then you roll with Sam Darnold for this year. You don't want to reach, man. Trading up for a top 5 pick in order to select J.J. McCarthy is a reach. Taking Michael Penix in the first round is a reach. I'm sure as hell not going to take Bo Nix or Spencer Rattler at 51 in the second round. I'm not. Sorry. Go Adisa Isaac, edge rusher at 108, 129. Bo Nix. I'm going to go Mason McCormick again on the interior. They're clearly not going to bring back Dalton Reisner. I mean, that ship has sailed. And at 157, I'll get my boy Tommy Eichenberg, linebacker from the Ohio State. We'll finish this one up here. 167. My guy, Chow Smith-Wade, corner. And then see if Jordan Travis is available. Yep, he is. I remember it this time. And this time, not too late. Got 2 more picks. We'll go. Screw it. Add a new name here. Add to the offensive line. Hunter Norzad out of Penn State. And then the Tory Taylor agenda, obviously, to end it all. And then you see what you got after Jordan Travis rehabs for 2024. Probably still go quarterback in 2025. It's just the way that sometimes it's just based off of the cards that you're dealt. Right now, the Vikings are in a prime spot to trade up for a top 3 or top 5 pick. But if the other teams are not receptive, then you got to make do with what you have. Tristan says trade up for Harrison Jr. and let Darnold cook. That would be a crazy ass trio, right? Jefferson, Marvin Harrison, Jordan Addison. That would be dope. I wouldn't be opposed to it. All right. We've done 3.5 mock drafts. The last one I screwed up there. But I think at the end of the day, and yes, Brian K, Jordan Travis, like taking him at 177 is not a big deal at all. You're talking about players that oh, you're agreeing with me. Okay. But I think either way, the Vikings are in prime position to drive an absolute home run in this draft. Thank you guys for participating in this live stream. Actually, one quick thing. Let's see. Are there any new updates on the Vikings front? Let's see. Okay, so the workout. Oh, what are we saying? TPP, Purple Passion is saying, or Purple Persuasion is saying that Ben Albright has confirmed it has not happened yet. The workout scheduled for JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. As Albert Breer pointed out earlier in the week, it will take place sometime next week. Okay, so it's not really any news. So it's all JJ McCarthy related stuff. Vikings will likely provide an update on Hawk. I expect that he'll start the season on the PUP list, miss the first 6 games. Anything else? Is there a chance Lewis Cine doesn't make the 53? I think he makes it just because you're taking on more dead cap than you save. But yeah, dude's an absolute bust. And that's unfortunate. All right, so no news on the Vikings front. If anything happens, I will be sure to do a video on that. Thank you all for participating in this live stream. We'll see you next time.